So alright, let's start today. So today we'll start a new tool called ELK. ELK. So you can see ELK. We call it ELK stack because ELK stack means it's a mix of three tools. So we have three tools where we work with them together, or we integrate them together, and we work on those tools. That's why we call it a stack. So let's see what are those. Why we need these tools. See, you've seen Grafana Prometheus, right? What is the use of those? They are monitoring tools. Obviously, you can monitor our applications, metrics, and everything. Servers and everything. Similar way, ELK also one of the monitoring tools. Same thing. Just like Grafana Prometheus, it's one of the famous monitoring tools out there. In the market, people use it. You may ask, we have already seen Grafana Prometheus. We have exporters, Prometheus, Grafana, alert manager. So we can monitor everything with that. Why we need ELK again? You may ask, we need the new tool again. So why is this Grafana Prometheus? We have majorly used for metric monitoring. Of course, this Grafana can do log monitoring also. What does that mean by log monitoring, if you ask me? Tracking or keeping track of all the logs in one common place. So let's say I have two servers, right? Two are there. I want to check log in this machine. Okay, I'll log in here and I'll check it. Okay, all good. Now I want to go to this machine, check the log. Okay, I have to log in again here. I'll check it. Okay, that is also fine because two machines. Okay, I can manage. Like that, I have hundreds. How can I log into 100 machines? Check the log every time whenever I want, and I need to check maybe daily 5 to 6 times. I want to check the logs for some reason. I want to check application logs, so it's difficult, right, to log in. So what we do, we gather the logs in a common place and we track everything based on the filters and everything. Similarly, monitoring also. So what we're doing with monitoring, so we are like, we can't just simply log into each and every machine, check the details and everything. We want to know the details and everything about the metrics and everything, usage and everything in a single place. That's why we use these tools. So Grafana Prometheus we have used for metric monitoring, not for log monitoring. Of course, there is we can also do log monitoring, but not a. I mean, I won't recommend it because it takes huge memory and not an easy way to understand, I would say, or simply to keep it simple, not a famous one. So most famously for log monitoring we'll be using something called ELK. Of course, ELK can also do metric monitoring. Both, I'm telling you, right, they are just two separate tools, monitoring tools, where they can monitor the logs, where they can monitor the metrics. Both can do both things, two things, but we'll be choosing the tool based on the use case. If you want to monitor the metrics, I'll choose Grafana Prometheus because Grafana gives us way more easy dashboards, visualizations compared to ELK stack. So that's why for metrics I'll choose this one. And for logging, ELK stack provides more info for us, more easy way to filter out the logs, easy way to fetch the logs from all the servers and applications. That's why for logging I'll choose ELK. So today we will be using ELK mainly focusing on log monitoring. Of course, we will see the metric monitoring also here, but log monitoring will be focusing on. So what is the ELK now? It is combination of three tools. See here, Elasticsearch. First thing is Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana. See the starting letter ELK. Elasticsearch, Logstash, ELK, Kibana. Kibana is just like Grafana dashboards. We will be checking the dashboards in Kibana. So what are these two? That we'll see. So the first main important thing here is Elasticsearch. This one. So Elasticsearch is just like Prometheus, a data store. So we'll be storing our logs in here, uh, in Elasticsearch. But it's not like that. I mean, it's a, we call it a search engine. It's an actually search engine. So what happens is, let's say you have huge data and you want to process it fasterly. So usually we have data, we'll keep in database. I mean, any MySQL, Mongo, whatever it is, Oracle or something. So the processing will be a little slower because those disk will be stored in hard drive. So processing from the hard drive will generally be little slow, I mean, comparatively. But this Elasticsearch also similar thing. It will store the data and we can able to process the data, analyze the data, whatever the data is available. But the difference is Elasticsearch stores in memory, not in hard disk. In memory, RAM. So the performance will be faster comparatively. So, so Elasticsearch is similar like in databases. I mean, it will just store the data, but it will store in memory, not in hard drive. Unlike other databases, every other database will store in hard disk except Elasticsearch. So, what happens if you store something in memory? It will retrieve faster. I mean, the performance will be faster. So you may ask like, so then everyone can use Elasticsearch, right? Why they need to use MySQL or Oracle? This will be faster. Everyone can use this, right? Yes, everyone can use this, but the the thing is, in normal databases, we have relations. It means we have a structure where we follow the structure, for our to store our data, to retrieve our data. But in Elasticsearch, there is no structure. I mean, of course, there will be a structure, but it's in a JSON format, not in a tabular format, which we require for our applications. So that's the difference. The way it stores, that's the different. Got it? So Elasticsearch is like just a data store, or you can simply say search engine. We call it search engine because searching the data and filtering out the data is very easy because of in-memory store. So we can analyze large volumes of data in here. So now whatever the data we logs, I mean whatever the logs are there, right, which we fetch, which we want to monitor in a single keep on a dashboard, that will be processed through with Elasticsearch only. That will be stored in Elasticsearch only. So this is the main thing. Next thing we have log stash. What is this log stash is? So I told Elasticsearch will get the data, but from where? So one way is through log stash. So this log stash is, it's like how can it's like, it's a data processing tool. So what does it mean log processing tool? Let's say simply to keep it for our use case. What does it mean log processing tool is? Let's say we have log, we want to store in Elasticsearch and we want to analyze in Kibana. Obviously that's our dashboard, but logs will be in different formats, right? As an example I'm saying, so Apache log will be in different format, Nginx log will be in different format, maybe Jenkins log is in different format. So logs comes in different formats. So these different format logs, we are sending the different kinds of formats of logs to Elasticsearch. It will cause an issue because it doesn't know it's a random structure. Some logs are random, some logs are different. It doesn't know what to do. So what we do for that is we use logstash for that. Logstash takes the input, the logs, it will take the logs, format them, format every log as the same thing, because obviously we can define our own format in logstash, how the log format should look like, or it will take the default ones which are available. So it will take the logs, format it and send to the Elasticsearch, so that it will easy for Elasticsearch to process them. If it is like let's say anything, just a general case, if all things are same, we can compare easily, we can pick what we need, right? Let's say we have 4 models or something, let's say phones are there, so with same configuration, same features, same display and everything, so you can just pick one. It's easy to figure out, I mean, but you have different models, it will take time. Okay, maybe this phone has separate thing, this one has high camera, this one has low memory, something, the differences will be there, so it will be taking time for you to understand. But if you have options with same thing, you just pick anyone, I mean, it will be easy to pick up. So that's how this uh, log stash filter out the data, whatever the log we are sending, modify the data according to our requirement, and send data to Elasticsearch. And of course, so here what happens is this Kibana talks to log stash. So and display the logs for us. So instead of like this, let me write like this. The first thing will be, let's say Kibana. Maybe yeah, we'll start right from here, which will visualize the logs, just like Grafana dashboards. Sorry, visualize the data. From where it will get the data, log stash. And of course, you know what log stash will do? Elasticsearch. It will format the logs like this in here. You may ask, sorry, yeah, first, is it clear? I mean, so far. So, I mean, what are these components? Why we Kibana just visualization thing, so we'll just install it. Don't worry about that. So, you know, it's not difficult to set up and everything. Not even these. But the idea of those, why they will be used, why the Elasticsearch will be used, why the log stash will be used, that that you understand now. So this log stash will get the logs and store in Elasticsearch in the same format, and Kibana try to talk to this guy to get the logs. Of course, where this get from? Elasticsearch. This is where the log storing. This acts as a bridge in between to get the logs, to filter out the logs. So this is one. You know, some uses differently also. Some don't use log stash at all. That is also fine. Simply directly store the logs in Elasticsearch and just tell Kibana to take the logs from Elasticsearch. That's it. It will take it. No need of log stash also. But in case if you want, you can set up the log stash. I mean, it's okay to have, it's okay not to have all. Set up the log stash. Both are fine. And you may ask finally, what? Of course, my log in my server. How it will go to log stash? How it will store? I mean, I know how it will store Elasticsearch. How it will go to log stash? Of course, agents. Agents, just like here, agents are there. What agents will do? It will fetch the logs and send to log stash. Here we call them agents, not exporters. So what are there are some agents like file beat, which will send the logs, so metric beat, which will send the metrics, audit beats. There are, we call them beats. See the beats. In here we call them beats. So we'll be using these beats, I mean nothing but agents, to fetch out the logs. Each and every beat have its own, you know, common thing what it will do. So you might have got it by now. Metric beat is used to filter the metrics. That also we'll see. File beat is used to check the logs. Audit beat, check the system auditing, you know, like, you know, how many users logged in or blah 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 everything. We'll see that, don't worry, later. So that's about the structure of, you know, ELK. So first agents will be there. Now we'll learn the correct format. Agents will be there. Log stash sends to Elasticsearch. ES or Elasticsearch both are same, and of course Kibana. This is the structure. Same thing, right? Grafana exporters, Prometheus, Grafana dashboard. Same thing. It's just another tool. I'm telling you, right? Another monitoring tool. All we have to do is install it, use it. That's all. So let's start installing. So is it okay? You know, what are them? Is it clear before, you know, going on installing? These tools are developed by Elastic organization. Just type setup ELK. See elastic.co. This is the official website for this, developed by these guys. How to install? See, installation order. First install Elasticsearch, install Kibana, install Logstash, the agents. I mean beats, or we call them beats. I told you, right? Beats. So cloud, we don't have cloud obviously. Go to self installed. We have Docker, correct? So this is again installing in that server directly using RPM packages or Debian packages in Linux. This also We don't need, I mean, of course we can do the same. No need, too much time taking process. With the Docker we want. Let's see if the Docker is available or not. Not there. There has to be. See, install Elasticsearch Docker. Let's see. See, they get the commands. We can run the commands like this. But of course, we want, this is just for Elasticsearch, not for ELK stack. I mean, Kibana and both. So there will be some other link. Let's. So if you go official website only, same. If you go to here, blah blah, there is a Docker compose file. See, this is a Docker. No, not this. Yeah, this is a Docker compose file where we can set up the stack completely. Still, here is, they gave it separately. See, metric beat, metric blah 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 blah. They give all these things separately. Okay. Now we'll do one thing. Don't worry. We have, there will be Docker compose file. Yes. See, it's everything in a single place. Elasticsearch. Don't ask me what is Docker compose. You already seen Elasticsearch. See, the port number is 9200 obviously, and of course logstash. What is logstash port number? 5044, and Kibana. All are exist already. So let's copy this. Let's edit as per our case, because we can do unnecessary things. We don't want it. So all the things not required. Oh, which one they are using? Which one? They are building the images. Sorry. Yeah, let's not use this. It's a time waste. Let's use this link. Let's try. Of course, that will work again. They are using so many variables and everything, which will take. Yeah, I think this might be better. Let's copy this. Yeah, so okay, Elasticsearch image is this one, container name. Okay, port number. So this is the Elasticsearch configuration. I mean, not configuration part. The data where it stores. So slash users layer Elasticsearch data, the default one, and they're creating a volume called test data. We have to create a folder. We'll do it. Don't worry. And there is something called ELK config elasticsearch.elasticsearch.yml. So elasticsearch.yml is the main configuration file for the Elasticsearch, and this is the configuration usually we keep it. So here what's happening is we are allowing Elasticsearch to be accessible from anywhere with these two things. And for Elasticsearch we can have authentication also. We can have roles like admin role, read only, write role, like this. But as of now we are disabling the security. We are just giving cluster name as Elasticsearch and bootstrap memory lock false. True, sorry. So here what we are doing is, usually what happens is when you set up an Elasticsearch, I told you right, it runs on memory. So you have to give half of the server memory to Elasticsearch. Let's say my server has 16 GB memory as an example. So I should give Elasticsearch 8 GB memory. It will take 8 GB memory by default. I mean, half of it will take. And within that only it will try to use. That's why we kept it memory lock true. So log the memory, whatever 50% you need, and use it. And Elasticsearch we can set up as a cluster also. As a cluster means multiple, just like Kubernetes cluster, multiple servers, nodes. But for now it's okay, single node is fine, we don't need that much. Discovery type single node. And networks, ELK, they're creating a network, so you can leave it, no problem. Let them create a network. And of course, coming to log stash, same thing, port number, log stash, container name, the path. We need to figure out, we need to copy the data from these for these things. So log stash data path, log stash configuration path. These two are log stash configuration paths. Same user shell log stash, user shell search here. Kibana also similar thing. Kibana 7.1, port number 5601. Kibana data, Kibana configuration, Kibana data, and these are the volumes. Kibana, I mean, why we need configuration is every service will have every tool will have a configuration file. And now here we have three tools. These three tools need to talk to each other. I mean, we need to integrate them together, right? So that's why the configuration files are required. So let's copy this. Don't run it. I mean, just now we have prerequisites. Why? Because we need to create these directories, you know, the volumes, and we need to create the configuration file with the default data, right? So first, let's log into this server. Just clearing out something. So what is the directory volume they are expecting? ELK-config. Let's create that. And test data, ls data, kb underscore data. Let's create them. So these are data folders where they will store the data. We're just creating volumes for that. Sorry, not this. I think it should be fine. ls underscore data, test underscore data, kb underscore data. So hopefully I did correct. Yes. Now we have prerequisites are done. Now we need to create a configuration files. So first is elasticsearch.yml file. So this is what, right? Where is this? Elasticsearch.yml. Data will be created after, you know, the container created, of course, not now. So, but we need to have the configuration files. So let's create a file where it should be inside ELK config. Inside there should be a folder called Elasticsearch. Inside that there should be this file. First, let's go to ELK config. mkdir elasticsearch elasticsearch.yml. So I think the path should be yes, it is correct. I know what should be the data. Data should be this sample one as of now. So this is a cluster name and network host dot local. Network host you can give 0.0, no worries. What is network dot host means where to access this. I mean where to allow to access. We already gave 0.0.0 HTTP host. We can able to access this. Don't worry. Next that is done. Kibana.yml. Kibana.yml is, if you see what is the server name, what is the server host, Elasticsearch host. See here, it's talking to Elasticsearch. See, that's the URL of Elasticsearch. Why it is elasticsearch.9200? It should be a port number. Since now we are creating a Docker compose and we have a container name here called Elasticsearch. Where is the container name? See here. So since the Docker compose they are in same Docker network, they can able to communicate each other by just host names. So that's why this should be fine. Kibana.yml. Where this should be Kibana.yml ELK underscore under Kibana directory. I should create a directory called Kibana. Paste the content. So ELK, Elasticsearch and Kibana are done. Now you know what I have to do. Logstash. So logstash are two files. One is YAML file and another is configuration file. YAML file is to integration, integrate with other stack tools, Elasticsearch as of now, because it needs to connect to Elasticsearch obviously to process the logs, right? That's why. And this configuration file is how how it process the logs to Elasticsearch. So we need these two files. So but where? So we have to create a logstash directory. Okay. Let's create a logstash directory into mkdir log sts. Sorry. logs dash dot conf, simply paste this. So this is the inputs mean beats. So obviously the logs will be processing through beats, right? What I told, beats means the agents. There will be multiple agents, we'll discuss them, don't worry. So we'll be talking about beats. So it will be taking from beats. Port is 5044 for this LS search, and output is LS search. So it will take the inputs from agents, filter it. By default there is no filter, we just simply keeping it blank. So filter it and output where to send the logs. So it will receive the logs from beats, it will format it, blah blah blah, it will format and correct thing, and send to where? LS search. That's where we had to store the logs. That's what I told, right? And from LS search, Kibana will take it. That's why LS search is connected to, sorry, Kibana is connected to LS search. So let's go here, paste it, blah blah blah, save it. User is elastic and password, we are just creating a password, but there is no password. Let's see, logs,
Bro, do we need to
sorry,
update host? Eh, Yeah, we didn't update the host
we didn't
actually.
update the
Host
host
value.
value.
There is there is a key called host.
Where is it? Sorry,
Yeah, it is there
in
in
the
the
output.
output. In the output
We
object
copied, right?
host.
Let's see. Sorry, let me just open
Mhm.
again. Haven't I copied?
Yeah, we copied actually, but do we need to change it to our
No, I told you, right?
master IP over
Not
there?
required. Why? Because we are running. What's happening here? Yeah, let me show. We are running in a Docker compose, right? So what happens? They are all creating in the same network. They can be able to communicate each other. So you don't need to give the host value like IP address. I mean, of course you can give it, but no need to give, because, and if you see, observe here in the compose, we are giving container names. So since they are in the same network, they can able to talk to each other with the container names. If they can't, we'll change to host obviously, but they can able to do that, because these are tightly integrated now, right? Because with the Docker compose. So that's why host name is fine. I mean container name is fine. Generally, even yesterday also when we tried Grafana Prometheus, we can simply give the container host name, but we didn't give the host name. We don't have any host name. It's a random host name which is generated by container. But in our case here, we are giving host name by ourselves, some unique name. I mean, or custom name for us. So you can use the host name also. So there is no issues. That's why I did not change it specifically. So Elasticsearch should be there, because
Okay.
Elasticsearch is the container name which we are giving. See here. So with container name we can access how? Because they are all in the same network. Whatever we are creating. That's why. Got it? So that's why we are
Yeah,
just
bro.
giving the container name. So even for Grafana, when you try practice next time, do like this. Sorry, what is it? Try to integrate with container names. But first, create a container name. Give you some host name to container. So how you can do with Docker run only, when you do Docker run -d something, you can pass hyphen host name is equal to something, and try to access with that. Let Try it. It'll work without any issues.
Sure.
Okay. So now for this one, what's happening? So yeah, we have our stack is ready, of course, with the Docker Compose, and it's expecting volumes, configuration files, and data. So those are also ready. So we just created, and configuration files are ready. We just have the default content as of now for Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana. Elasticsearch content. Let's go here. Elasticsearch content is cluster name and when to access. Kibana content is Kibana has to access to obviously Elasticsearch, so we gave that address and the server name. Logstash have two configurations. One is connecting to Elasticsearch, because that's where it's need to send the logs, I mean the process data. Another is .conf file, how it should be filtered. So input is from file beats, I mean sorry, the beats agents. Output is Elasticsearch. So we gave these things. Now finally our configurations are ready. Let's write a compose file and see if whatever we did so far is correct or not. So simply let's docker hyphen compose dot yml, paste it. It's done. Obviously I don't have compose. Python is there. Pip is there. No pip install. With pip you can install docker compose. Obviously the spelling is wrong, it won't work. Or with apt also, it is anything is fine. Just like Ansible, right? We install Ansible with pip. Okay, is it installed? Obviously it's installed 1.29. Now let's first check the config whether it is correct or not. Obviously it's correct. I'm running in the background docker compose of f1d. But keyword what unexpected. I believe yes, this is the issue with docker compose version. Let's see. Getting docker compose. See. Docker mentioned phrase compose in Python. Okay, available as deprecated appropriate. So it says docker compose v2 switch only worth. So we need to update to docker version compose version 2, but how? They did not give it. So as a temporary solution, what they are saying is downgrade the docker version to 6.3. Let's try this just for now. No, error while fetching server API version not supported. Let's replace docker. Again another error. Let's try. This is the issue. Yes, correct. What? Docker should be running. Let's see. Yes, obviously. So let's see. Let's set the permissions. It should not be required, but let's try. The format they are saying is wrong. Obviously, not this. What are these? This is in Linux. Maybe let's try installing docker compose v2, whether this will work or not. I installed a new version. Now docker compose 1.29. Okay, let's uninstall it. Obviously, but we have installed docker compose v2. How to access? Oh, in new version docker compose v2, no need to give hyphen docker hyphen compose. Just simply docker space compose of -d. Oh, I didn't know this. Good thing we know this today. So if you have faced the same issue, try installing docker compose v2 just like I shown, and try like this command. No need to give hyphen. I told you earlier, right? Docker hyphen compose the commands, but just docker compose. Docker space compose and the commands, docker compose commands. And of course you see the images they are trying to pull it, they're trying to create. Let's see, Kibana is still pulling. Finally it's created, sorry. Volumes are created, containers are creating, they are started. Docker space compose ps, see they are running. How to access Elasticsearch, and how to check whether they are working or not. There is a port number I told you. Our this one, this is where I'm running in master. Sorry, 9200. Oh, my bad, I need to allow in the firewall obviously. Don't worry, we'll start AWS next week. You'll know what are all these things. Why? So first is 9200 Elasticsearch port. Next is 5044. What is the 5044? Logstash. What is the Kibana? 5601. Sorry, here. These are the port numbers we need to allow. Refresh. See, if this is comes, Elasticsearch is ready. See the version 7.9.1 which is installed. Cluster name, see, this is what we gave. Tagline, you know we search, you know for search. So if this came, it means Elasticsearch is installed successfully. Let's try 5044. Of course it won't open, that's correct. 5601. So it's opening. This is Kibana. Load. Now see, explore my own blah blah. See, this is how Kibana dashboard looks like. Of course there are no logs, so you don't see no logs, no metrics. If you add logs data, there is nothing. Elasticsearch logs. See, it says download and install the FileBit agent. See, let's do it. It's give you the Windows Linux options, but what is ours? Docker. You can run Docker, no worries. So first let's install the agent now. So let's install the agent. What is the agent? FileBit Docker setup. Of course, go to official website. So Docker pull is the FileBit image 8.16. Wait, ours is 7.9, right? We should use 7.9.1. I believe that is the version. So what is the Elasticsearch version we have used? Do you remember? Obviously, yeah, 7.9.1. It means, yeah, the agents also should be the same version. Of course, we have used the same version for Elasticsearch, Logstash and Kibana, both three things, right, in our stack. So our agents also should use the same thing. If you don't use the same thing, obviously it won't work. So these are the commands to run, and see, this is the final command. You know what we are doing here? And first, before running this, what this FileBit will do is, it will just get your logs, and store the logs in Elasticsearch. And in Kibana we can able to where is this? In Kibana we can able to filter those logs. That's it. It will gather your logs and store into Elasticsearch. Here Elasticsearch called, there in Elasticsearch there is something called indices we call it, index. So it will create an index, just like table in databases, MySQL database, something like that. We create tables, right? So here also we will have indexes. So in one index, we don't need to create the index, it will automatically create it when we store the logs. So in that index it will store all the logs. Now once the logs are stored, it will come here. So of course there is no logs, nothing is coming. So once you store the logs, it will come here. Then we can filter out the logs. Let's see how to do that. There is nothing, see, anything. So let's see. First let's set up, our agent. So of course we can set up like this. So I know this may be confusing a little bit, so we'll keep it simple, don't worry. So for of the file bit agent, right? So first let's create a file. Let's get a folder. Clear file bit. Let's go inside a folder. Let's create a configuration file. File bit.yml, obviously. Let's add let's add the inputs here. So what, just file bit dot inputs. It means from where we should gather the logs. So first the type log, I want to gather the logs. I'll enable it, enabled, I guess, yeah, true. And what is the log, what are the log paths? You can give any path here, it will gather the logs. Any path here, it will gather the logs. So what logs? Maybe I want to monitor whatever the logs is there in slash var slash log slash log slash star dot log. So of course this is the default path, right, for in Linux server where we'll store the log. So we will be what is it, tracking all the logs whatever exist in the var log directory in with Elasticsearch. Now what is the output? So this is the input, the logs are the inputs, we are gathering the inputs. Output dot, sorry, output to log stash, that's what, right? Log stash will take the input, that's what we configured. Let's, if you open here, sorry, it's not there, I'll show you once this is done. We have configured two things in logstash.conf. One is input from the beats, another is output to the Elasticsearch, that's where we'll store it. So host, give the host blah blah. What is the host name of logstash? 5044. Now if you see, someone asked doubt, right, yesterday, sorry, just before, why we didn't give the IP. Earlier they are in the same network, we don't need to give IP. Now obviously we will be creating container in a different network, so you have to give the IP of this one. What is it? The node. If you create this logstash, sorry, this file bit agent in the same network, you don't need to do it. But we are creating as a normal container, obviously it will be in a different network, so it won't work. So file bit, sorry, okay, that's fine. File bit is the input, the logs. Output is this one, sent to Elasticsearch. So go to var log, all these logs will come. See dot log, whatever dot log is there, this will come. If you have, let's say, any your own path, you can give like that also. We'll try that, don't worry. Now run a container, docker run -d hyphen name, maybe file bit, sorry, hyphen network. I'll run in a host network, no need to run in container network, or we can run it also in container network, no worries. Let's try in running in the same network, that what is the root ELK, right? This is where or this ELK stack is running. Let's run in the same network, no worries. What is the file bit port number? We have to map it. No, there is no port number for file bit. 5044 only, same thing. Okay, sorry, my bad, sorry. file bit. Where which network they are running, but they haven't defined anything. It runs in its own network. That's okay. Let's run by ourselves. Yes. Hyphen D. Hyphen name and hyphen net. Let's run in host network for now, and hyphen v. So file bit dot slash file bit dot yml slash, this is the, sorry, slash user share, sorry, file bit, this is where we're mounting file bit dot yml, the image name. Let's copy from here and we'll change the version, don't worry, to 7.9.1. 7.9 sorry, 0.9.1. Of course it will pull it, obviously. I told you version should be same. Unknown, failed to create. What is it? No such file directory. I believe the one which I mounted is wrong. Let's try in a different way. Let's mount a directory. Sorry, this one I gave this one wrong. You should say right. Hmm. Where the hell user share file bit, is it correct? User share file bit, I should be correct. Then it's saying something wrong. File bit name net host, okay, v host, okay, user share root file bit. Still somewhere wrong. Okay, let's check the doc. Let's check how we are running here. These are running. Only there is nothing. Just simple setup file bit. Blah blah blah, this is fine. Log stash, this is fine, we have ran it. How to run file bits? Okay, they are running as a normal thing. My bad. These are all we did it already. Can we run like this as an agent? That should be fine. Can we maybe let's try this as an agent instead of container. Why to confuse you also? Without container, let's run it. So maybe let's try installing the file bit. apt install. Hopefully it should be there. You can run as a container also. I mean, again I have to check once. We have to add a repo which set of file bit. Now go to official documentation. Let's go here. Here also it will ask to search. See, they gave like this. Instead of this, we'll run as a service. File bit installation, they gave it fully. Debian, okay, this is the verse. The apt. Okay, now let's execute this one. Now let's go to install this or packages. Let's install this. So repository is now let's update it. Now let's try pt 7.9.1. This is the version that is. I get it. It's logged. Let me have to clear it. 1 minute. One minute. The M is using, sorry, the APT is using another process. So what we have to do is we have to clear it. So this has been using, we have to kill the process. Still it is there. Let's try this. That's correct. Yeah, it's installing. That's fine. No, it is installing. Let's check systemctl status file bit inactive. Let's open the file etc. See file bit came. File bit.ml. So this file we have to do it. So if you remember this file bit.inputs, we enabled it. We have to enable it to make it true. Let's remove these things unnecessary. So these are just comments for what purpose, but for now let's keep it. Let's make it true. So like this, you already seen this. This is the path. See, like this you can add any paths next to next line. For now we'll keep it one path. Next is file bit config. This is fine. So there will be Kibana, so logstash somewhere. Where is logstash? Dashboards, Kibana, Elastic Cloud. Okay, this also not outputs. So in the outputs, give the logstash. Oh, sorry, wait. There will be logstash, yeah, logstash output. Simply uncomment this. This is what, right, we did. Let's open our own file. Sorry. what we did. Same thing there we enabled. Now let's start systemctl start file bit status. It's failed for some reason. Failed to start file bits. Send logs to logs test directory. Search. Let's search. What's the error? No log. No log. There is some issue. I think it's okay for today. We'll see this agents tomorrow. This beats file beat metric beat tomorrow. Don't worry. For today, it's already late. We have discussed until installation of the ELK stack. We have and we have discussed like what is ELK, why we required it, why we needed it, and what are the components inside it, and how to install it. So tomorrow we'll see the agents. Of course, we have time. Don't worry. So tomorrow we'll see the agents, and let's connect tomorrow same time. Meanwhile, yes, do practice and install the tools. Okay. So hope it's clear. Any doubts so far before closing? So yeah, practice, and yeah, we'll meet tomorrow same time. Bye all.
Not no.